Welcome everyone and welcome to today's video. Now, some of you in the sim racing world and some of you will not know of the popular overlay app called Racelabs. This is an app that I personally use myself on my own streams and videos and is, to be honest, I think the best out there. However, it has come into a little bit of drama. Well, I say a little bit, quite a big amount of drama in the past 24 hours. And it's kind of been an evolving story that I've been keeping an eye on. But basically, the gist of it is that Racelabs, previously a free service, still is a free service, but has a paid subscription model, like most services out there now, really. But in this instance, you are able to subscribe to the pro version, which gets you extra level of information and overlays available for you. I'm personally a member of this. I think it's a great service and it provides the whole host of information that I think is exactly what I need for you guys to enhance your viewing experience. Now, this is either paid via monthly, via €3.90, or you can pay a yearly subscription with a slight discount, as most of these services do now, for just under €40. Now, I've never had an issue with this. I've never had issue with payments, but unfortunately, Racelabs, whoa, it's had a bit of a shitstorm, let's just say it. I think there's no other way to describe it this past 24 hours as I've been reading through the Discord and actually first discovered via Reddit what the guys at Racelabs have done. And bearing in mind, this is a small business that is run by, my understanding, just a couple of guys, and not that this really kind of results them of or dissolves them of any blame here. What they've discovered is that a proportion of their subscription base have not had funds taken out of their accounts for the last 11 months. Now, what they have done is they have then run through their payment system. I don't know the exact details of it, but they've then claimed back these 11 months that people have not paid for. So these people had originally signed up to have a recurring monthly fee, or they've paid for should have paid for a lump sum fee for the year, and their transaction didn't actually go through, yet they were still having access to the Racelabs service. So on one hand, you can see, okay, well, these guys at Racelabs, they are basically taking the money that they rightfully deserve because people have input their credit card info or their bank details and expected these fees to be taken out. Now, it's easy for people to kind of miss a €4 transaction fee per month, especially if you're just with wireless transactions now and stuff. For people maybe not to flag that up. And of course, sometimes we like things for free. If a business is not taking money out of us and we're getting a service for free, then on one hand, you can kind of see why people would stay quiet. But where this gets quite murky is that the guys at Racelabs have a terms of service, just like all businesses out there do. Even if you're a small business, it's important to have a terms of service because this is in essence a set of clauses that protects not only the business but the customer as well. It's there to help both parties. And in this instance, the terms of service actually states that should automatic billing fail to occur for any reason, the company will issue an electronic invoice indicating that you must proceed manually within a certain deadline date, with the full payment corresponding to the billing period as indicated on the invoice. So, in this scenario, Racelabs have processed payments that were due but have not informed people that they were going to be taking these monies. So a number of users have had pings come through their phones that they've all of a sudden had chunks of money taken out of their bank accounts. And in some instances, the payment service has even taken 5 times the amount out of their account. So it's not just the 11 months that have been due taken out of their account. They've had €100, €150 taken out. So it's been a bit of a shit show, to be honest. And yes, rightfully so, a number of users have gone straight to the terms of service and pulled this out because Racelabs should have informed every single person who was in this scenario where they hadn't paid for the last 11 months that they will be issuing an invoice to them, send the invoice, and then payment is due. That is how the terms of service should follow. Well, things have got a little bit heated, as you can imagine, online, as it does with kind of any scenario these days, especially when we're in tough times with money, with cost of living crisis and stuff. Because the thing is, €40 to some person doesn't mean a lot, but to others, it is the difference between them being able to pay bills for the month and pay for food and not. Whether you think it's smart spending €40 on an overlay app or €4 a month on an overlay app when you're in that scenario is another thing entirely, and you can keep your opinions to yourself in regards to that. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is not good on Racelab Apps' part. Now, to mitigate this, they have originally offered a 5-month discount on the service. So to try and ease the process, they said they would not charge the full 11 months and it will only be 5 months. Once again, doesn't solve the problem because it's against their terms of service. As we update it, right now as I'm recording this video, Istvan, who is the owner of Racelab Apps and the original creator of it, has said he holds his hands up. He apologizes that a number of his communications, as I've read back through Discord, have been a little bit heated, but as kind of constructive criticism has come back through Discord, some people have just gone shouting, and maybe they've got a point, but you're not going to get anywhere if you're just trolling people and just shouting. Like, try and have an actual conversation to resolve this issue, because ultimately they are a small business. While that doesn't absolve them, as I said, of any blame, these things they need to learn from, and there's always teething issues, and it is a little bit murky because they've got personal details. People are a lot more touchy with their money these days than they ever have been because of the economic stance of the world at the moment, or position of the world, and every little does help to people. But yes, Istvan has thankfully, and his partner or partners have said, look, they're going to refund everyone who has had money taken incorrectly out of their accounts, because it wasn't just, from my understanding, thankfully I haven't been affected, but it's current subscription holders as well who have been paying monthly, haven't missed payments, or have been charged every single month, have also seen monies come out of their account due to this. So it's not just been the people who have not been charged for the last year. It's been people who are still paying to this day with no issue whatsoever. So yeah, not great from their perspective. But what I will say is that this is a massive, massive learning curve for any small business, really, because Istvan even said that he didn't get his terms of service checked by a lawyer or by a solicitor, which, to be honest, you should do. 100% you should do as a small business. But even so, it's just practice to, before you go through anything like this, check your own terms of service first. You should know your own terms of service and the way to proceed correctly, and inform everyone beforehand what is actually going to happen. I understand it's a loss of earnings. They've clearly got a number of users who haven't paid for the last year and have been getting a great service, because Racelab Apps is the best out there. It is a top service. I don't think anyone can doubt that, and a number of these people have been receiving that for free for the last year. On one hand, you're like, well, guys, calm down, because you've been receiving this service for free. You most likely knew you was receiving it for free, and now someone's decided to claim for the monies that, in essence, they are rightfully owed. They are rightfully owed for it, because you've received a service that you're supposed to be paying for, but not received. And look, we're not dealing with an Amazon here or a Google. We're dealing with a small business who's someone who's a passionate sim racer like us, who has done something brilliant for the sim racing community, and he's made a mistake. And thankfully, he's acknowledged that mistake. And people do make mistakes, especially when you're a small business and you haven't got this endless amount of money behind you. And you haven't got all these lawyers and you haven't probably got this support. It is a steep learning curve for them. But I would also say that a number of people have just lost their shit, and it's a total overreaction. Now, as I said, I don't know everyone's financial circumstances, so some people straight away have gone straight in for the jugular because it means they've gone into overdrafts and stuff. And when you are dealing with people's monies in today's world, and I keep repeating it, it is a touchy time. So, but it doesn't mean you're going to get the solution resolved. You're not going to get this resolved, are you, just by going in and shouting at people? Some people in here have rightfully so come in and gone, look, by the way, you haven't followed your terms of service. I think you've got to refund people because this isn't a right way to go about things, and people will take their money and go elsewhere. But I think overall, hopefully now Istvan has sorting all of this out. He has said that if, by the way, if anyone here has been affected by this, anyone who is subscribed to Racelabs apps, so I ask you to check your accounts and make sure that you haven't been double charged or had incorrect funds come out of your account. If you have done, go into their Discord, join their Discord, which you can do through the app, and I'll put a link in the description below as well. Contact Istvan because he is at the moment having to do this manually. As I said, they don't necessarily have, I assume, the resources to just get this mass refunded. They'll probably have to talk to whoever their payment providers are as well, and go through the whole process of getting those funds back. But he is in the process of dealing with it and trying to as best as they can. Overall, a lesson to be learned for everyone. If you're starting up a small business, get your terms of service in place, get them checked, know what your terms of service are. It's very important, especially when you're dealing with other people's money, especially in today's economic climate. That is for sure, because as I said, a fiver to someone is a fiver to two different people can mean two different things. So yeah, a little bit of drama there, guys, something that I didn't expect to come home to and see, but I thought it was important to talk about it and make you guys aware of it. And also, I just do want to say at the end of this, I do think Racelabs apps is still a brilliant service to be a part of. Whether you subscribe to them, whether you use the free service, it is by far the best overlay service out there, and Istvan and his partners are doing a brilliant job. It is a great service. They have made a mistake. They haven't initially dealt with it in the correct way. It is a steep learning curve for them. I hope that they've learned from it. It seems like from the discussions I've seen and the announcements that they have learned from it. And yeah, they'll probably take a short hit in the meantime with people being angry and cancelling subscriptions. But for me, it is something that I am personally going to keep using, and I would always recommend. So keep up the good work, guys, at Racelabs apps. You've learned from your mistake, and yeah, hopefully you can just be a little bit more clearer when stuff like this, or hopefully stuff like this never happens again. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, turn those notifications on, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.